Job was a blameless man of God who lived in the land of Uz. He was a man of integrity who feared the Lord and stayed away from evil. Job was a very wealthy man. Job also had many servants. Job was blessed with 7 sons and 3 daughters. His children feasted often. One day the members of the heavenly court came to present themselves before God and the accuser. Satan came with them. "Where have you come from?" the Lord asked Satan. Then Satan answered the Lord and said, "From going to and fro in the earth and from walking up and down in it." The Lord then said unto Satan, "Hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and an upright man, one that fears God and flees from evil?" At that moment, Satan decided to be crafty and find a way to make Job curse God. Satan proposed that if God would allow the blessings of Job to be stripped away, that Job would surely curse God. So the Lord said unto Satan, "Behold, all that he has is in thy power, only put not a hand on him physically." So Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord and began to cause havoc on Job's possessions. All in the same day, Job had servant after servant rushing up to him to share the terrors of Job's livestock being killed by fire or stolen. His servants killed, his children feasting in the home of their eldest brother, and a great wind caused the house to fall upon all of Job's children and kill them. The servants rushing up to Job, each speaking before another could finish, were each the only one to escape from the chaos to tell Job. Job then arose and tore his robe in grief and shaved, and fell to the ground to worship. In all this Job sinned not, nor blamed God. However, Satan would soon test Job again, after approaching God once more for permission to cause Job physical pain. Satan then struck Job with terrible boils from head to feet. Job's 3 friends came to visit him and share in his anguish by sitting in ashes with him for 7 days and nights. No one said a word, for they saw that his suffering was too great for words. However, Job's friends would soon accuse him of sinning and living unrighteously. The men and Job would exchange words back and forth, but they feared Job was being arrogant and not listening. The Lord would soon answer Job's cry. The Lord came to Job by a whirlwind and asked him who was he to question God's wisdom. Where was Job when he laid the foundations of the earth? Who kept the sea inside its boundaries? Where does the light come from and where does darkness go? God re-established his goodness and how vast his power is by reminding Job he knows nothing compared to the wisdom and knowledge of the Lord. Job responded by saying he is nothing and will cover his mouth with his hand. But God continued to challenge Job. The Lord told Job to brace himself like a man and answer the questions he had for him. Once God had finished challenging Job, Job repented and acknowledged that the Lord can do anything and no one can stop him. After the Lord had finished talking with Job, the Lord went to one of Job's friends and professed his anger at him and his other two friends for not speaking accurately about him as Job had. The men were instructed to take 7 bulls and 7 rams to Jobin to offer burnt offerings for themselves. Job will pray for you and I will accept his prayer on your behalf, said the Lord. When Job prayed for his friends, the Lord restored his fortunes. Job was consoled and comforted from all of the misfortunes by family and friends who came bearing gifts. The Lord restored Job's fortune so much so that Job had twice as much as he had before. Job even had 7 more sons and 3 more daughters. In all the land, no women were as lovely as the daughters of Job. Job lived 140 years after that, living to see 4 generations of his children and grandchildren. Job died having lived a full, long life.